Hi, and welcome to my rug hook and talk show. Okay, a little cut off. Let me fix that. Maybe we'll have to scroll out a little bit. There you go. That's a little better. Okay, so I took a few days off. I had some fun things to do, some music concerts to go to, and we did that, and that was a lot of fun. Still thinking about my trip to Vermont and how wonderful it was to see all that beautiful yarn. So if anybody does get a chance to go and visit Melina at Seal Harbor Rugs, what a fun trip I had. Stayed at a nice inn, and it was a lot of fun. Okay, I got my green tea. I'll give you a minute or two to go grab a cup. If you forgot to get your tea, your coffee, whatever you're drinking at this time while you're watching this is fine. For those who are just tuning in, my name is Annette, and I've been a rug hooker for over 20 years and absolutely enjoying it. And quick synopsis, I started with yarn. Didn't even know there was another way to hook with fabric wool. So I did venture into that, and I have combined the two. So I think most rug hookers do eventually get around to combining both of them, only because it's unlimited, the beautiful inspiration when you add both of them together. Yarn is good for one effect, and it's absolutely phenomenal once they start getting dyed in different colors. And wool fabric, again, you have plaids and you have tweeds and you have beautiful, just solid wool flannels, and when you start dyeing them into these different colors, whether they're solids or mottled, or all these different beautiful dye effects, you get the most insane color combinations, and you can do wonderful things with them. So recently, one minute, let me grab something. Sorry for going off camera for a minute. Looking for something. Okay, so recently I got this great package in the mail, which I absolutely forgot that I had even ordered it. So, wow. I better start taking something for the memory. Anyway, let's get over to this. This yarn I got from Nancy Urbanek, and she makes yarn and sells Beaver Brook Craft, I believe. I have her name somewhere around here. Okay, here we go. Beaver Brook Crafts, Nancy Urbanek. She's out of Florida, and I've asked her permission to share contact information, and she hasn't gotten back to me on that, so I don't want to get into that right now, but as soon as she does, I will give you her website and some information to contact her. So I want to just show you this beautiful yarn. I got to get something, again, white. 1 minute. I think I have something white back here as a great background. Awesome. Okay. I've got this really big piece of white paper from my son to do with projects, but okay, so here we go. If you could see this, let's see if we can get up close. Okay, there you go. Okay, so this has different colors of, I would say, a rust, a green, a beige, a brown, just these incredibly beautiful colors. Okay, so that's this one. Then I got this beautiful one, and it's blues and greens and white. And these are beautifully made, if you could see. Okay. Then I got this beautiful one. This is like a violet and brown and black and peach. Again, grays, all different shades. And that is another beautiful piece. This one is another one that I just couldn't resist, and I know I'm going to hook something beautiful with it. It's purples, greens, grays, olive. It is just stunning. So there you go. Beautiful, beautiful colors. I'm trying to get it in the light so you could see. Okay. My last one is this beautiful. Obviously, we don't have a problem showing this one. It is so bright and beautiful, and it's gold and some green, and it's really beautiful. Okay. So we got all that in. And her prices are wonderful. So definitely, if she gives me contact information, because I will share that with you. I know she doesn't, I don't want to do anything without asking her permission. I'm just going to pop those over there. Okay, so hopefully by now you've grabbed your tea, your coffee, and I've been doing work on the diamond outlines. I'm still working on those. And I just realized I went a little thinner than I normally would probably go. I'm striving to hook with a larger cut, a wider cut. This is kind of on the thinner side, only because it's for this outline, and I didn't want to give too much thickness to the outline, because then it would make the other diamonds that are not gray seem a little bit too small in comparison to the other ones. So I kind of went thin with that so as not to break it up too much size-wise, the diamonds. And that's the only reason why. So my Anderson frame is on its way. It was shipped last Friday, I believe. So I'm thinking it could be coming today to any time this week. So as soon as it gets here, I'm going to rip it out of its box and get it together. So, but until then, we still hook on, I love this little frame, and I'm sure I'll always be hooking on this little frame, because it is just a simple little frame to work, and I need simple. I don't like complicated. Yeah, I like simple. So that's it. And I think what the beauty also is, I used to get real, see, it's a little loose as I'm hooking, and I usually normally don't like it like that, and I'm getting a little lazy. But let's see if I can get another clamp on here just to tighten it up. The reason you want it taut, and for those of you who are already rug hookers, you know this, but for those who don't, it makes it absolutely so much easier to hook. I mean, you can speed hook, I think, if you have it the right tautness, you know, and not that you want to hook fast, and that's important. It's not, but just even doing the basic stitch of the hook goes by so much easier, and the foundation you don't struggle against your backing or your foundation as much, because it's just in this great spot. See, I mean, if this was a little tauter, it's just easier. It's easier on the hand. So I'm looking for that. And not to say I can't get this tighter if I didn't throw a few thumbtacks in there. I just can't be bothered doing that right now. It's pretty good for my hooking purposes. And I do have a few thumbtacks on here, so and everybody likes to work at a different pace, so you know, that's your personal preference also. I used to watch how others held their hook, and I'm like, how is it they're holding their hook like that? And you know, like I said, I do change the position of my hook. It's hard to hold the hook like a pencil unless this is drum tight. If it's not really, really taut, this is hard to hold as a pencil and get it to work for you. So I do like to hold it as a pencil from time to time. I tell you, just to take the pressure off of certain parts of my hand. But most of the time, the ball is in my hand, and that's how I hook. Only because probably this isn't as taut as it should be, or could be. So it makes it much easier to work these little hoops and loops up. So that's it. So I'm hoping you're enjoying your hooking your project. I must say that I don't know if you hook seasonally like I do. Sometimes I don't hook for the summer. Pop that right there. I don't hook for the summer for the simple fact that I now have a grandchild, a little granddaughter, and I love to be outside in the garden. And yes, you could take this outside. We all take I'm sure most of us take our rugs outside, but once you get hooking, as you know you don't want to do anything else but the hooking, and so then nothing else actually gets done. So I take off at least, probably out of the whole summer months, warm weather 3 months, I'm probably not hooking at least 2 of them. But I am reading. I do all my rug hooking reading. And that brings me to my books. So I ordered some books. I did. One is a book I've never seen before, and I did so much of a search on Amazon that eventually it came up, and it wasn't an expensive book. I think it was called Designs for Modern Rugs. When it comes in, I will share it with you. It's on its way. That's another one that's on its way. And I've got a few other new books that are on its way. Not necessarily have to do with rug hooking, but designs and colors. And so, you know what, I believe all fiber artwork kind of lends itself to inspiring for whatever craft you're in. You can, you know, kind of decipher something and pull it out and, you know, reuse it into something you like. So it's all good. I've read all kinds of books. And like I said, if you're really into color, Kathy Fassett needlepoint books are great inspirations for color. That man is not shy when it comes to color. Oh no. So definitely, I took mine all out from the library. I don't own any of his books, only because he has so many and I can literally get my hands on 5 or 6 at a time. So I'm always reading his books. I've retaken them out because, you know, it's always good. And the winter is when I do most of my library reading, because there's not much to do inside but hook, clean, bake, and put on weight. So it's all good. But so yeah, so I'm working on that outline here, and I'm still thinking about, you know, how I'm filling these in. Like I said, when you start hooking a rug, you have your idea, and then it kind of changes. You don't like the way something looks, or another inspiration came into your mind. So what I do know is I have some Seal Harbor rug yarn coming in a variegated gray, and that's what these gray diamonds are all going to be, in the variegated gray. The outline is solid gray, and so, well, you know what? It's solid to a point. It's a gray flannel, and if anybody knows gray flannel, it has like a little speckle, almost like a heathered gray, but it's pretty much one tone, is what I'm saying. The variegated is going to be different tones in there. It's going to go light to dark, but pretty much be on one level of intensity of this level. It doesn't go much darker than this, and it won't go much lighter. So it's very, very subtle is the gradation and the variegation of the yarn I'm going to be using. But the blue, I'm just a little torn. I thought I was going to use some variegated blue in here, but now I'm not so sure. I did decide to add this color over here. Let me grab it. Okay. I did decide to add a beige with the blue, because my room is blue, gray and white, almost like a blue gray and white. So any color gray will work in there, and any color of a slaty kind of blue will work in there. So we're looking at those two, and I might throw 1 or 2 of the dark blue in here. I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. I just don't know if I want that dark color in there. So we'll see how it works out. And that's about it. So is this rug going to be very exciting? I don't know. I'm not thinking it's going to be mind-blowing in color. And obviously, I knew that. So my next rug will be full of some color. I'm not sure. I was thinking the butterfly rug, but I'm not sure at this point whether I want to do that right now or wait a little bit more to the spring and work on something else. But we'll see. We'll see the mood I'm in. As you know, we all come up with our ideas, and then something kind of sidetracks us and takes us on another path, and that's okay. That's all good. Whatever's moving you at the time, you know, go with that. Otherwise, you'll sit there with a rug that you're just not very happy to work on, and it won't get done. So that's how kind of I put something, a design off if I'm thinking it's not really going to be something I'm going to be gravitating to a lot. I'm never going to want to come down here and hook. So I really want to do something I think I'm going to like. But it's for my granddaughter, that butterfly rug, and that's what excites me. Except that they're not in their house yet, so I'm thinking maybe saving it until they're in their house and maybe work on it then. So it could be put off. My point is that it'll be sitting rolled up someplace, and that's not fun. So we'll see what we work on the next one. For some reason, I'm very, very drawn to hooking leaves. I like leaves. Haven't hooked many of them, but I do like hooking them. So that variegated yarn that I did show you, all those beautiful colors, those were meant to be in leaves, because I just think they're so beautiful, and they do look so much like the leaves up here in New England. As they turn color, they do take on all those different shades, and Nancy did a great job with that yarn. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. If you could see it in person, you'd be like, wow, I just want to look at the yarn. I don't even need to hook it. So that's it. Just hooking this up. And obviously this is kind of like the tedious part. So, whoop, that twisted up. It's kind of like the tedious part. And, you know, that's the way hooking outlines are. You know, they could be a little tedious when it's really not as bad if you're hooking a pictorial rug or flowers, because that's kind of nice. But this is just straight lines, and it'll get a little tedious, but we'll just keep looking forward to doing the color. And this is going to go next to my bed, so that'll be nice to see it all completely done. This is a little bit bigger than what I've been working on. I've been hooking those little mats, and those go by rather quickly. You know, if you're really giving it more than 10 minutes a day, you can get your little mat done in 2 weeks or so. If you're giving it more time, obviously it'll get done sooner, but I don't have big chunks of time. So the idea of this rug hooking show is that we get together and we hook it 10, 15, 20 minutes of rug hooking, and at least we're getting something done. So even if you're hooking 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, you are going to get this done. But if you just say it's down there and I haven't hooked, it's not getting done, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's see, I've got to cut some more strips. Going over here to the cutter. And for those who don't know, I just use a rotary cutter. $10, $12 at your local craft store. And my guide is a rotary mat, you know, one of those on another one. So just quickly share with those who don't know, or maybe they're just tuning in and haven't caught the show from the beginning where I explain what I use and all my supplies. So not a big deal. So I'm just cutting a few strips at a time, like I said, so it breaks me up from sitting there for too long at a stretch. It means I have to probably get up every 15 minutes or so, which is good. So that's what I do. Obviously, if I've got to go hook somewhere outside, I'm going to hook a whole bunch at one time. But if I'm down here, and I just need to get a little exercise out of my chair once in a while. So that's it. And I have come down and hooked. Well, I wasn't on the camera, so we can move along with this. And like I said, it's just to move this along. But I do enjoy the hooking and knowing that there's some of you out there enjoying this and getting a little company while you hook too. That was the purpose. And to share what I know with rug hookers that are new or just starting out, and or ones that have maybe just haven't seen what I've seen, because I think some of the stuff that I have come across in my little journey, and it's just so much fun and interesting. So I just figured I'd share with you. Obviously, I do things my way, and you have to do things your way. But it's good to know that there's resources out there, especially for yarn. There was a lot more resources than I actually ever thought, you know. I started hooking with yarn, and I just went to a store and just got my yarn, my thickest yarn. Was it meant to be used on the floor? Was it rug yarn? No. It's worn well, the rug. I mean, it's obviously is rolled up now and put away because it was my very first rug, and it doesn't match with anything in my house now. But now I'm glad to know there's rug yarn. So when I make my rugs, now I want them on the floor. My little mats go somewhere else, either on, you know, you could put them up on a wall, or I like them on a cocktail table or at the end of the hall. There's a little table there with a lamp. I put it there and change it seasonally with a little mat, so as not to let it get dirty. But there's not much that'll sit on there, you know. And like I said, if you hook with linen and you spill something on it, you don't have to worry as much as if it's burlap. And if you do spill something on burlap, what you want to do is dry it quickly. And I would just say a blow dryer. I wouldn't put it in your dryer per se. You could. I mean, it's going to get tumbled around, but I don't think it would hurt it. But I think just blow drying it and blotting it a lot. So as for cleaning my rugs, if I've ever shared, I don't know if I have. But what I do is take a very small amount of woolite, and I put maybe a teaspoon, and I put it in a spray bottle with maybe about 1.5 cups or 2 cups of water, and I shake it up really well. I let it sit so there's no suds, and then I just lightly spray the surface, barely, so it's misted. And then I just let that sit for a minute, and then I blot it up with either a really good absorbent dish towel, bath towel, whatever towel you have. You could use Scott towels, but you want to get most of that back up. You might have to do that procedure 2 or 3 times to get some dirt out of your rug. You know, it depends on where your rug's been sitting. You know, people have rugs by the front doors. I'm always amazed at that, but they do. And obviously I wouldn't put a light colored rug there. I mean, I don't know who would do that, but hey, everybody's different, right? So that's as far as I can go right there, because I'm hitting the edge of my frame. So I'm just going to clip that off. But first, before you even do the procedure I showed you, I kind of went ahead of myself. I turn the rug over and I pat it. I just tap it, and it loosens up whatever surface dirt's there. And, you know, people used to bang their rugs out years ago. You see them, you know, those old vintage pictures of them on the line, and they're hitting them with the, you know, the rug beater. We don't want to do that to our hand-hooked rugs, but if you turn it over and just lightly tap it and, you know, gently shake it a little, you will see little particles of dirt come out, because obviously we're not vacuuming these rugs. You could get away with a dust buster, which was a little handheld, very light suction, to get surface, but to me that works just fine, turning it over. And then you do, if you need more than that, you then do the little spritz with the woolite. You don't want to get that backing wet if at all possible. And it should be fine. That should be good enough. Okay, so I'm at the end over here. I can't hook anymore. And I just leave the wool underneath hanging, because I know well eventually when I resituate this, reposition it, it'll be fine. So right over here is my wood. I'm just starting here again at the edge. And that's it. So, like I said, if we all hook 20 minutes, you know, even 5 minutes. I mean, I know that sounds like ridiculous, but I mean, 5 minutes is 5 minutes. At the end of the week, it might have been 35 minutes of hooking, and that gets you someplace. You know, if you're on a time frame and you sell your rugs, then obviously you're hooking a whole lot more. But this is from my home, and I'm in no rush to do it. I want to enjoy the process. and yeah, and enjoy the hooking. Like I said, sometimes I come down here and I put on a radio, and it's all good. Just want to check the time on this, and how many minutes. Okay, we're heading towards the end of what this capacity is. I think it's 30 minutes. So for now, I had no books to show you, but they are coming in. But I did have some yarn to show you, so I'm glad about that. Okay, so until we meet again, keep on hooking and happy hooking, and we'll see each other soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye.